Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. This is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. Tonight, we're going to talk about a story. Let me get recording. We'll jump right into it. I'm going to talk about a story Rollo Tomasi brought up. And he says, next on Better Bachelor, plus-size woman says being fat doesn't mean she has to settle in love. And I talked about this a little bit on my other video, but the reason I'm actually doing the story that he sent, but there's a reason why I do these stories. And I think a lot of times other people that maybe just jump in and say, and they read the thumbnail, or they only watch, I think only about 50% of my viewers make it all the way, my video viewers make it all the way to the end of the video. That means a lot of people come on here and they hear me go, here's a story, and they read it and they go, wow, all he's doing is dishing on women. But the truth of it is, behind every one, or at least the majority of every one of these stories, and for those of you that stick in till the end of the video, you know there's a point I'm actually making. Well, I'm going to put my point up front so that when at least on this one, when we get to a point where we're saying everything that women does is empowering and bold and special and strong and lovely and beautiful and wonderful, and everything men do is bad and toxic and patriarchy and possessive and blah, blah, blah. When that's the news every day, I'm going to come on here and read about the hypocrisy. I'm going to come on here and read about these stories and call them out on it. Why? Because the news media won't and social media won't. No one steps up and says, you're full of crap. That you keep putting this on men all the time, and it's not on us anymore. We're refusing to let you just dish it off on us and say it's our fault. We're done with it. And that's why I do these stories, because so many of you younger guys are growing up in a world that basically just hates on men. And that can wear on your soul. It can be tiring. It can make you feel like you're less than, that you're not a good person, because you might have thoughts that are different than what everybody's trying to stuff down your throat. And so I try to, number one, read these stories and give a little life lesson in there for you guys that say, all right, it's not actually me. I'm not the one with the problem. It's society, it's teachers, it's bad parents, it's some, but at least let me know that I'm not the only one that's like this and that it's not just me. And number two, the other reason why I read these is because it's entertaining to hear how horrible people will point their finger at men and say it's their fault. And we, number one, won't take the blame. We refuse to take it now. And number two, we continue to live a happy life, and they're the ones that are butthurt and all angry about it. So Rollo, this one's for you, my friend. Plus-size woman says being fat doesn't mean she has to settle for mediocre men. Hey, I am with you. I agree 100%. You do not have to settle for men that don't love you for just who you are. That's it. We're done, everybody. Except the hypocrisy. Except the fact that you still call it out on men. They say a plus-size woman has insisted she won't lower her standards in love and relationships simply because of her size. Teacher, oh, there's a shocker, she's a teacher. Teacher Megan Fisher, 29, worked hard to feel comfortable in her own skin, and while others may judge her appearance, she's confident that she deserves more than just a mediocre guy. Good for her. And you know what my reply is to that? Good for her. Don't settle for anyone less than you think you deserve, girlfriend. Go get it. That's all on you. From The Guardian, men aren't entitled to women's time or affection. But it's a hard lesson to learn. The tagline, beware a bro who knows what he deserves. The friend zone is only purgatory if women's decisions are less valid. Doesn't matter what what he thinks. Beware a bro who knows what he deserves. She's confident she deserves more. than just a mediocre guy. Oh, so we shouldn't be aware of a woman that knows what she deserves, but women need to be aware of men who know what they deserve? What? Do you see why I read these stories? Do you see why I get so frustrated over this stuff? Man leaves wife and kids. Now the kids have to schlep between two homes, and the family is broken, and he did it all because he wanted to chase after skirts. Horrible, evil, evil man ditching his family. Yet just 2 videos ago, I did one where a woman did this, the exact same thing, and the media's, oh, stunning and brave. Stunning and brave. You deserve your best life. Follow your gut. If he's not what you want, go get it. How do they expect us not to call this stuff out? And yes, this article is 6 years old, but what changed? Things are just worse now. And the entitlement is real. So why do I do these stories? Why do I do them? Because it's a one-way street. It's women can act poorly and do awful things to guys and, make their poor choices in life. But when a guy does it, he's shamed, ridiculed, and called out on it. That's why I do these stories. And as far as Megan Fisher, 29, here's her Instagram. She has 1,102 posts. The majority of them are selfies. I won't bother to waste your time scrolling backwards, but I scrolled back 340 weeks. I think it was 340. Let's get down here, 340 weeks. Here's 283 weeks. I promise I won't spend much time doing this. Let's see. 321 weeks. I scrolled back almost all the way to the beginning here. And you know what? She is stunning and brave and powerful, and you do you, girl. I really have no problems with that. But you know what you don't see in any of her photos? Men. Boyfriends. Dating. She's got one picture about, 200 and some odd weeks ago with a dude that she calls her bestie. Now, am I making fun of her? No, I'm not. I'm not. But as long as the media decides to push this narrative forward, you're hurting, women, because you're telling them, hey, you know what? You do you. And there's a very good likelihood that, number one, she may not find someone to date that is accepting because, number two, it's unhealthy. But you're basically leading women down a path of being unhappy and being unfulfilled and unsatisfied because they listen to this. And hey, she's got 11,000 followers on Instagram. Yay. How does that relate to your happiness in life and your well-being and finding a partner and getting married and having kids if that's what you want? It doesn't. You can have 1 million followers and be the loneliest person in the world. But what the takeaway is on all of this is this. And there's many stories. I just happened to quickly type in fat guy, unacceptable, or I forget exactly what I typed. And there's lots of stories like this. Unattractive, heavyweight guys, fat, basically, they don't even call them heavyweight. Unattractive fat guys that are entitled and feel that they have the right to ask out a woman or bother a woman. Or see, when you're not attractive as a man, when you're not in good athletic shape, when you're unattractive and you try to flirt, that's harassing somebody. But when you're in the same situation, same woman, but when you're attractive and she's interested in you, well, it's stimulating, it's flirting. That's the only difference between the two. But when it comes from the lady's side of the world, she's entitled. She deserves it. She demands the best. And they cheer her on. Let me read a little bit of this. She moved to New York. It changed her life. The more she began to love herself, the happier she became. I'm great with that. I think that's fine. Some men seem to think she'll settle for anything, but they're wrong. Megan is regularly messaged by guys on social media where she actively posts selfies and other pictures of herself living her best life. Unfortunately, not all of them are up to par. but seem to think that she owes them something because of her size. You hear that? You hear the entitlement in there? A guy says, you know what, I'm a heavyweight too. I'm not in the healthiest place in my life. We're probably kind of, let's go out and get cheesecake together or whatever. And they message her. Now, you notice that they automatically assume the man's intentions. Unfortunately, not all of them are up to par, but seem to think that she owes them something because of her size. Yeah, maybe a polite, I'm not interested. Is that too much to be owed for if a guy actually steps up and asks her out? I think some men believe they can message fat girls and that we are obligated to talk to them just because they're giving us attention. But they're so wrong, she insisted. Fat women do not have to settle for any man. We have plenty of amazing options. Too true. So even the guys that reach out to her, she's too good for. She feels that men are owed something. So why do we even talk about this stuff? Why do we even talk about this stuff? I'll tell you why we talk about this stuff. What kind of entitlement, what kind of attitude are women coming up with where a man just simply asking her out? And hey, if guys are into it, great, good for them. But a man's being shamed here for asking her out because she goes, you're not worthy of me. And this is why I say so many times, how much energy do you want to put into dating? How much energy do you want to, I got the good text messages and I'm smooth and I dress real nice and I drive a nice car. For what? For this? For this kind of attitude? You take Tommy Lauren or Lauren or whatever, Lauren. You take Tommy Lauren. She's beautiful. Let her open her mouth and poison gets spit out. And she's going to tell you, probably a hardworking, good, healthy, socially adapted, normal human being, that you're trash. Why? What makes her so entitled? What makes this girl so entitled? That's why I read these stories. I'm not giving this woman a hard time as far, look, you do you. And if you want to have a salad that's, primarily made of unhealthy food, and too much salad dressing, and you can't get your weight down, and you just decide, you know what, I'm going to accept myself for myself, and I am what I am. Awesome. And I genuinely mean that. But then to go forward and expect the men that reach out to you that are at least maybe hoping to get a date, maybe they're not the greatest catches in the world, but maybe a lot of people might not find you to be the greatest catch in the world. But to shame the guys that just actually reach out and say, hi there, I don't owe you anything. No wonder men quit. If this is what we're encountered with, you can go all the body positivity and you can work out and you can be a well-dressed, successful man, and you want to just date your equal and you're met with poison? Forget it. You got to be crazy if you think guys are going to keep up with this. That's why channels that are about guys being happy on their own and calling women out for their bad actions are growing fast. Because a lot of guys are running into this, and a lot of guys are ticked off, and a lot of guys are basically stepping up and saying, I'm out. I deserve better than this. I deserve a better attitude. I deserve a better caliber of woman. I deserve someone that's at least my equal. And when I try to talk to the women that are my equal, I'm shot down. Here it is, guys. Reason again why I think so many men have just decided they've had enough and they're out. I don't know. Guys, anyway, Rolo, this is for you, my friend. You're welcome. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you watch it. Guys, I'll leave it there. If you'd like to support my work, links are below. As always, if you have, thank you very much. It means a lot to me. And the best way you can support me is like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out my older videos. You can follow me over on betterbachelor.locals.com if you'd like to join the forums over there, and you can make a small donation to be able to post on the forums and support me that way as well. Guys, that's it for me. This is Better Bachelor. I'm Joker. And remember, if you're hot and attractive and the woman wants you, it's flirting. However, if you're not what she wants, you're bothering her. But you won't know until she starts screaming that you're an awful person. Why bother?